I've never ridden anything that says Honda on it, but I dig it. You know, it's funny that you ask, because I've watched you ride it. I don't know how long you've been riding now. I rode it, but like the past year or so, I remember watching you on it, and I was like, God, that fits her really well. And what a smart move for somebody who just started riding to buy something like this versus, you know, something silly like an 883 like I did. It's got a great look, and it's really smooth. And sorry, I'm a car salesman by heart, you know, so I'm like, I notice these things, but it's really smooth. It's got great get up and go, and yeah, pretty cool little bike. Oh gosh, I met you all probably about what, 10 years ago? Yeah, it was probably about 10 years ago. And then I started riding my own in 2014. And like I said, I made the mistake of buying an 883. And I went from an 883 to a Dyna Super Glide that I had for about 10 minutes. And then from there, I got the 04 Road King that I still ride now, so. No, not growing up. The closest thing we had was a Honda Spree. I guess I did ride a Honda. Back when I was a kid, it was a moped, a Honda Spree. We called it Herman. And we had that until my dad put it down in some gravel in the neighborhood one spring. And after he got done picking gravel out of his ass, he decided we no longer needed to have that around, so. But it was fun. It only did about 45, 50 mile an hour, I think, but it was a fun little toy for a while. Other than the bikers, I love this bike. I gotta figure that out. Like I said, I had the 883, which I think was, I mean, it was a good bike for somebody like me, because I'm tall and I could handle it. You know, I think a lot of girls, and you know just as well as I do, make the mistake of buying that bike because of its size. And I think that that's a unfortunate thing that they do. But, you know, now they have some really cool stuff out, though, like the Slim, and some neat bikes that make it a little bit better, I think. But, you know, and I always had it in my head I wasn't going to ride anything other than a Harley, period. So that's just what I did. So I had the 883, and then I bought the 06 Dyna. I rode that for about 12 seconds, and then I got the Road King. And you know, it's funny. I wish I had certain things like cruise, and you know, sometimes it'd be nice to have a radio and navigation, but then there's other times where there's nothing better than just nothing, you know, when you're riding. And that's kind of why I stick with my basic bike, I guess, you know. But I do think this is a really cool little bike. I mean, as far as riding it across country, probably not, but you know, it's got a great look, it's got a great feel, it's really pretty fun to ride, I gotta be honest. I mean, it's different. This is the same setup with the 4 controls that I had on my 06 Dyna, so it's just taking me a little while to remember how to do that. But, you know, this was a smart move. I mean, when you bought this and I was watching you ride it around, I was like, that's a pretty cool little bike. You know, I watched you guys do these video or moto blog, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, and having that luxury of talking to each other, that is so cool. And it's actually really neat. I was watching one of your other Fury Fridays with my dad. I think it was episode 2, and this afternoon I was showing him what you guys do, and anyway, and he couldn't believe how well he could hear the guys talking to each other with the road noise, the bike noise, the wind noise, and everything. So I gotta hand it to you. You spent some money on these little puppies, but they're pretty cool. I still communicate by mostly hand gestures with everybody I ride with, so I like to tell people they're number 1. Do you have any trips planned? No, as a matter of fact, I don't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. There's a couple of, there's a World world record ride going on over in Iowa. I can't remember the name of the town, but again, it's all women. I did that women's freedom ride last year, and that was absolutely a really cool experience. And yeah, it really was. It was a really cool event, and all the proceeds went to a really neat cause. It went to actually a motorized off-road wheelchair for a vet that we donated, so it's pretty neat. And we broke the United States record, but we didn't break the world record. We were close, but not quite. We had about, I think it was oh gosh, like 780 or 760, I can't remember, but all women riding their own bikes. And it was pretty cool. I got to meet Gloria Struck, and she's like, I don't know, she's in her 80s, and she still rides. She grew up, and I don't remember where she grew up, but her mom and dad had a motorcycle shop, and they lived above it. And so she's a really cool old lady, really neat, and it was fun to meet her, and I met a lot of really cool people. So it's that's what you gotta love about riding, you know. You meet a lot of really neat people, and they were from all over the country, in Topeka, Kansas, of all places. So it was pretty neat. Oh, it was a whole rally. So we left and went down. It took us all day to get to Topeka, though. We had I don't know how many women by the time it was all said and done, by the time we got down there, because we kept picking up more as we headed south. And I think we were there for 3 days, and then when we did the world record run, it was around the racetrack at Topeka, at the Heartland Motor Speedway, and that was pretty cool. So we were riding around the racetrack. Unfortunately, it was a little rough on the clutch, and you could only do about 25-30 mile an hour with all those bikes out there on that racetrack, but it was a lot of fun. It was a really great day. It was I don't know if I'll ever do anything like that again on a short track. Like if they do another record-breaking run, but it's, you know, roads closed off in town or something, I think it would be a lot better, but who knows. How is the comfort? Oh, you know, for me, you know, Josh said I'd be stretched out, you know, in the comfort of this, and I'm like, yeah, it's not really that bad. But you know, I like it. It's the only thing I could see is the weight of this bike is so much less than the Road King, and I think that, you know, I the one thing I noticed when I went from my Dyna to my Road King was how much better, even though I didn't ride the Dyna for that long, but how much better it handled the bumps, and it handled the wind. You know, I don't know if you ever got to ride this on a really windy day, and I'm sure you did, but you know, you can feel a difference on a little bit heavier bike. But you know, for what this is, I don't know how much they cost, but like I said, I think for what it is, it's a really cool bike. I just love the look of it. I really do, because it's kind of got a chopper look to it, and I kind of dig it. You know, and I think it's a great size. And like I said, I mean, and I don't know if this was supposed to be about women riding, but I think it's a great bike for a woman that doesn't want a big, heavy bike. And she just wants a nice little cruiser that, you know, you can bar hop in, or whatever it is you do, you know, little short day trips, maybe, stuff like that. I mean, it's got, you know, we're on straight roads, but it seems like it turns really nice. It's just got a nice balance to it. It's just got a really great feel, and it's got a great height. And I think, like I said, not every woman's, you know, 5'12" like I am. So I think if it was me, and if I would have known about it, or even thought about looking at something other than a Harley when I first started riding, which I probably should have, this would have been something I probably would have strongly considered. I mean, it's got a great feel to it. It doesn't have, you know, the look of a Harley, obviously, but like I said, it's kind of chopper-esque, and it's kind of cool because of that. The tank is really pretty. I love how that tank looks. I just think that's cool. It's got great lines. It's really cool, and it's fun to ride, and it's got plenty of get up and go. I don't know what size motor it is, but 1300. The only other thing I could possibly say is the clutch is a little different on this, but once you get used to it, and that's with any bike. So, I mean, it's comfortable. It's a good little ride. But it's a cool little bike. I know, you know, I can see why you bought it. I really can. And I think, like I said, I gotta hand it to you. You made a smart move. It was a good place to start. and you know, I wouldn't, yeah, I mean, I never knew what it was until you said it on Facebook. I was like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know they even made that, but that's cool, you know. And that's the thing, I got to, you know, when I rode on that ride, that women's freedom ride, it was cool because you saw all different types of bikes and all different types of people. I mean, it was amazing. And you know, I'm like this anymore. I'm like, who cares what you're riding as long as you're having fun, you know? Doesn't matter. I remember that. I saw that video. But I know, you know what? It's so hard, isn't it? And yeah, you're like, oh, I'll ride on the back with you. It'll be great. It'll be romantic and sweet and blah, blah, blah. And then you get out to the garage, you're like, screw you, honey, I'm running my own. And you know, I just love, you know, it's so funny. People laugh at me and I tell them, I say, I've been all over the state selling land, you know, and I'll tell you, nothing looks better than the sandhills on the back of a Harley. You know? It's so, yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous up there, and you can't, you know, you can't beat it. You really can't. It's just, yeah. And that's the thing. I'm such a nerd because I tell people all the time, and they look at me like I'm crazy. But I'm like, Nebraska is actually a really cool state when you stop and look at it. And east to west, north to south, it's different all the way around. You never know what you're gonna get, and it's kind of the beauty of it, I guess. I'm not signaling because I can't figure out how to turn them off. All right, here we go. Oh, that's much better with fuel. Woo! Yeah! Oh yeah, shoot! Trying to look all badass. Okay, that's my only dislike is the blinkers. I need separate buttons. We need baby steps here. Baby steps. What do we got? All right, everybody. Thank you for watching Fury Friday. And it's been a pleasure to be a part of it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Josh and Amy. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs.Stevy, for letting me ride with you. It was a blast, and it's been good to see you guys. So, happy Fury Friday, everybody. Oh yeah, that's right. Don't forget to do that. Get to the YouTube channel, subscribe and watch it because it's worth it.